Okay, let's talk about strategy, game planning, and goals. Now, this is going to be a little lengthy, but it's very, very important. You got a tremendous amount of information and a tremendous amount of people right now, businesses, big businesses, that have come forth and have called me and we've had dialogue with, and we're starting very infancy stages, but it looks like we're going to be putting together some strategies and game plans and some goals with some very, very big companies. There's one particular retail company that's got about 1,137 stores in the country, and there's another one that's got about 250 retail stores, two totally different companies. And part of what we do is you have to sit down and we got to talk about strategy. Everybody is looking to drive more revenue to the bottom line. And I don't care what business it is. Everybody wants to do that, which is right up my alley. I love that. So how do we do it? What are we looking at? Some of the simple things that I look at is it starts off with a collaboration. And I just look at infrastructure. And we talk to the powers that be, and we take a look at all their people, what they're doing. And I say all their people because I'll tell you why. Sometimes you talk to people that in a supply company could be working in the yard, or you are office people. They have totally different dynamic thought processes about your business, and some of those dynamics are fantastic, and it really helps to put strategies together. And most people wouldn't think of that, but you have to look at every spoke in the wheel, because everybody has a little piece that works. Get a guy that works in a supply company, is in the yard for 10 years and really knows what's going on, and a guy who's selling doesn't really realize what he does. And the guy who owns the company, or the CFO, or the guy who's running that particular company, there's certain things he might not know. When we sit down and have a collaboration, we look at the strategies of what's going on and get everyone's input. It's amazing when you start drilling down how it works. And in the car business, it's the same thing. I look at guys that are having a lot of success. They got so many holes in their game. It's amazing to me. And there's so much money that's being missed. But, they think they got it licked, and they really don't. And it takes somebody sometimes from the outside to look at it, to bring things to their forefront and say, okay, this is what you might want to do, this is what you might want to do. And before you know it, we're looking at it saying, you're right. And we look at it and say, you're right. And we go back and forth and we figure it out. And now you have a little bit you do some adjustments. So you have strategy. But the game plan is within the strategy itself is very simple. Revenue has to be driven to the bottom line. Okay? Things like, how do we collect information? Remember this. When you drive a lot of revenue to the bottom line this month, what are we doing with the information for our customers, and how are we going to build the customer base bigger and broader? Okay? That's a strategy. You have to have a massive, massive, broad side to be able to get all your information, because you know what? To create tremendous stability down the road for your company and to create wealth for your company is how you're going to collaborate and talk to the customers that you're selling and closing today. Yes, they pay the bills this month, but as you build that customer base, it brings way more stability 6 months, a year and a half down the road, with several different things that we could get into. And I don't care what business it is, whether it's referrals or not. I'm working with one particular company now, and I can tell you this. I said to them, it seems like sales is going well. Yeah, okay, here we got some strategy, we went over some things. Game planning, we adjusted some of the game planning. But what they were missing, the big hole, was they were missing a lot of business for one reason. They don't have financing set up for the people that are buying from them. I said, well, think about it. If these guys can order a tremendous amount from you, and we can set them up with financing, you get paid immediately, and they can pay what they ordered over 3 to 6 or 9 months from now at a small amount of interest. Okay, but it puts the ball in their court to be able to turn their product and build their profits on their end, and you can keep it going on your end because you're not waiting for your money 120, 180 days, 150 days, because you can't. So that was something that we figured out through our collaboration. So when you look at strategies, it's very, very important. When you look at information, it's very, very important. When you put everybody in the system that works with the whole company, it's very, very important, because everyone has the different ideas. So now let's look at game planning. Okay, when you start game planning, you got to look at infrastructure. Okay, when you start game planning, you got to look at how much gross do I have to make to drive a certain amount of profit to the bottom line. Okay, when you look at game planning, you got to be able to measure what you're doing daily from a profit standpoint, gross profit to net profit. every single day, and I don't care what business it is. When your infrastructure understands that, okay, we have to deliver X amount of lumber today. We have to deliver X amount of cars today. We have to service X amount of cars today. We have to be able to put so much money in the vault from service, from a parts department, from a sales department, from a finance department. That's the car side. Look at from a lumber company side. What do they have to do? They've got to be able to get a tremendous amount of product out there to all their builders and their suppliers, so they have two different segments. They've got everyday builders coming in and out. Well, you know what? They have to have a credit line that they can put on, and you get paid. Well, if that happens, now all of a sudden that particular builder will grow faster because he can take on more work because he's not worried about cash flow because he's got the financing, and you're not worried about it because you're getting paid immediately. So you see how that works? Infrastructure is so key to understand how to make this stuff work. Then you look at it from a standpoint is, will I wake up when I start listening to all the input of my people? Okay? You have to look at it from a standpoint, how do you stay laser focused as a CFO, as a manager? You've got to realize that the people around you are key. Their input is very, very vital to your success and to the success of the company. When they know that they're part of building something, they'll pay that much more attention. When they know that they're part of something that if you can get to a certain level, there's some kickback money to them, now everyone really pays attention. And see, and that's what I think in many, many companies, they miss the boat. I truly believe when you get everybody involved, okay, every spoke in the wheel, I always say, is important. When you get everyone involved from your company, and the company gets to a certain level and everybody gets a kickback, okay, you just got to figure out gross to net. How much gross and how much kickback can we get so I can have the net that I need? When you do that, that's using strategy. That's a massive strategic person, somebody that can look at it from that perspective and say, you know what, my strategy is right. If I bring this much gross and we watch it every single day, we know exactly what we need to bring to the bottom line. We can kick back everybody, okay? So if you have people that are in the yard work, you get the yard people, they get a kickback. The office people get a kickback. The drivers get a kickback. Your sales people get a kickback. Everybody gets a kickback on the big numbers. What ends up happening is the tight months, they'll always get you to where you need to be successful. You may not have as big, but you'll have enough. And if you have to bring 36% or 25% or 45% to the bottom line, and they get you there, and right now you're doing 18%, all of a sudden 18 turns into 27, 28% because you took everybody that's in your company and you made them all part of the deal. Now they know. And if they know daily what they have to do, you watch and see how much more productive they become. They come to work inspired and motivated by knowing that, hey, if I get to a certain level and I get certain things out, I get paid extra money. I don't just get paid an hourly money or a salary, I get paid on the upside too. Now you have less turnover. Now your infrastructure gets stronger. That's internally you're getting strong because your internal customer is working so hard for the external customer. You see the infrastructure program we just created? Now on top of that, you got to put your goals. So you got strategy, you got game planning, because now you guys know what you're doing daily. Now what's the goals? It can't be a goal that shrinks. You got to set it up and say, okay, here's our first month goal, and here's our first quarter goal, and you got to go after it. The 30-day window, and you got to be after it. 60-day window, 90-day window, you got to work it, okay? And when everybody in the deal knows what they need to do, they keep pressing, and they keep pressing. And you know what? Now everybody gets involved in closing. Everyone gets involved in making sure the revenue's there, and it works for you, okay? On top of all of that, what does it do for you? When you need to get, today you have to get information from your customers. You have to get good information. What the companies are, your clients, okay? Every single client is different. So you have to have a game plan for them. And everyone in your company has to know the game plan for that client. It can't be just one person that knows it. Everyone has to know it. This guy picks up supplies on the 15th of the month, and he has to have X amount of this and X amount, and it has to be picked up on the 15th, or it has to be delivered on the 15th. Well, everyone needs to know that. It's like a fire drill. So when you know that each client is a different game plan, and everybody in your company knows it, it works. Okay? When you have clients that come in the car business, everybody knows the game plan. Everyone knows the strategy and how to put the clothes together. It works. When people come to your service department, same deal. and it works. And then they keep chasing and chasing. And the reason how you're getting chased, it's not like you're putting more money on the customer. You bring more customers in, everyone gets more efficient. So you get more customers through the turnstile. Instead of 25 customers or 35 customers or 75 customers or 100, maybe the 100 goes to 110 and the quality of work is the same. Maybe the 75 goes to 80 and the quality of work is the same. But you can't make up for time over 30 days. So everyone has to know you have a 30-day window to maximize that gross profit, to drive revenue to that bottom line. So you have to have a strategy like we talked about, game plan, okay, and goals that you have to hit. So everybody is part of the process. Everybody's part of the program. Your customers will be happier because you know why? They can feel it. They can feel your focus. They can feel your energy. You deliver a clear path to them on everything that you're doing. And I'll tell you what ends up happening too. Your business will grow and it becomes more and more unpopular. Now let's just talk about information you get from your customers today. We all know you have to have live emails. I said, but you can also send video. You can also send specials with video from somebody within your organization instead of some outside company, because that is personalized. That says, hey, listen, I'm the CFO of the company. You came in today and you bought $100,000 worth of lumber supplies. We appreciate that. The next $100,000 that you buy is going to be 10% off, and that's from me to you. So if you can do that in the next X amount of time, all of a sudden, that guy will say, instead of going to a different supplier, I got 10% off. I'm going to him. How does that work? That's something that nobody else would do in the marketplace probably, okay? And when you start researching it, because that's what we do, we research things, we knew that that wasn't the case. So you're ahead of the curve. You see the strategy, see the game plan, and not only did you get paid for today, now you're pushing for the future business. Whether the guy does it in a week or 3 weeks, he may have somebody else that he works with that needs the same type of supply as he does, and says, you know what, instead of you going to your supplier, come to my guy, we can save 10%. I just got this video. And all of a sudden you get another client. And then it just snowballs. But getting the proper information up front is key. It's vital. Making sure you have a strategy that everyone understands, a game plan that everyone understands, and then goals. Okay, but you got to listen to everybody. I don't care what you do for what company. Once a month, you should have a recap of your month, and you should be able to talk about everything that everyone did, okay, and have a real handle on what's going on and maybe what you need to improve on. And realize that it is a collaboration. All information is good. And then you can make good, positive decisions with the information that you gathered. And if every business in America went down this road, this America would be so strong with money, it would be crazy. Every company would be cranking and cranking and cranking. And you know what? You're building your customer base. You're building your gross profit. You're driving way more revenue to your bottom line. And you feel more positive. You have success. Remember, success comes with discipline. It comes with being laser focused. People will love to work for organizations that inspire them and motivate them through strategies, okay, game planning and goals. You can't just have a meeting on a Thursday or a Monday or a Saturday and think you're going to pump your place up and then all of a sudden they're just miraculously going to change. It's a total 100% strategy. It's 100% game plan, okay? And it's goals that you do not shrink, that you absolutely increase. And here's another thing. As you increase your goals, make sure your people get an increase. Okay, don't take it from a standpoint, okay, well, we paid out all these bonuses. We want to pay out less next month. That's craziness. Okay, you want to build something? You want to get it a turnstile at never-ending levels? Come up with a process and say we get to a certain amount of gross, we're kicking back a certain amount of money. We get an increase from there, a certain amount of money. Start it right off from the get-go and put it way out and say, here's our first goal, but we think we're going to get to way out. And when we get to way out, you're all getting it kicked back to here. When they understand that up front, they're like, wow, and be honest with them. Show them everything. And the bottom line is when the company's cranking like that, everybody wins. The guy that owns the company, what's his worth? It goes through the roof. And you know what? No turnover. And it's easier for everybody. Okay? You start to realize that over time you'll do it with less people. As people retire, you can do it with less people and there's even more money. So again, strategy, game planning, and goals. With the right collaboration, will inspire and motivate any company, and it'll keep the infrastructure, your clients, which is your internal customer first, which is all your employees, as well as your external customers, which is your clients, so pumped up to do business all the time, everybody feels good. That's the key to the whole thing. So hopefully this helps you in this podcast. We'll get into some more specifics, and I'm even going to get into specific stories. I'm going to leave the companies out, but I'm going to tell you as we grow and what we're doing so that you can get a feel for it, because this will work for any business. So let's look at it from this standpoint. We're ending this podcast, but you got to get out of the comfort zone and get into the major profit zone. That is the key, okay? The economy is growing, so get out of your comfort zone and get into the major profit zone. Absolutely, and have a great day.